Hello! Welcome to Snippets, Bits and Bobs, a channel of weekly videos of eclectic excerpts from classic and contemporary literature, lyrics, and even recipes that I read in a relaxing, soft-spoken ASMR style. Welcome to our special space to unwind and decompress while you listen to this week's readings. Using headphones will help you get the best ASMR experience. I invite you to listen to the video to the end, which supports my YouTube presence. Thank you. This week's theme is about Easter, which arrives this year on April 4th. Easter, also known as Resurrection Sunday, is a Christian festival and holiday commemorating the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, described in the New Testament as having occurred on the third day after his burial, following his crucifixion. It is the culmination of the Passion of Jesus, preceded by Lent, a 40-day period of fasting, prayer, and penance. In this video, I will read two poems by Elizabethan poets and later talk about a few stories of the Easter lily. So, poem number 1. Easter was a more important religious festival in medieval England than Christmas, and this remained the case into the Elizabethan era. Our first poem, Easter, comes from a collection called Amoretti of 89 sonnets written and published in London in the 16th century by British poet Edmund Spenser. The Amoretti memorializes Spenser's courtship of Elizabeth Boyle, a young, well-born Anglo-Irish woman, and the couple's wedding on June 11th in 1594. The sonnets were also written to correspond with the scriptural readings prescribed by then the Book of Common Prayer, which was a prayer book used in the Anglican Church at that time. The sonnets begin on January 23rd and end on May 17th of that same year, leading up to Spenser's wedding on June 11th. So the poem Easter is the 68th sonnet in Amoretti and matches up with Easter Sunday in the Book of Common Prayer. So in the poem, Spenser ruminates on the love that Jesus Christ showed to humanity by sacrificing himself on the cross. And he reflects to his beloved that they should also take their lessons from Christ and practice love towards one another. So the poem is a religious sonnet that turns in the final couplet into a romantic poem. You will hear some Elizabethan English words and pronunciations. Most glorious Lord of life, that on this day didst make thy triumph over death and sin, and having harrowed hell, didst bring away captivity, thence captive us to win. This joyful day, dear Lord, with joy begin, and grant that we for whom thou didst die, being with thy dear blood clean washed from sin, may live for ever in felicity. And that thy love, we weighing worthily, may likewise love thee for the same again, and for thy sake, that all like dear didst buy, with love may one another entertain. So let us love, dear love, like as we ought. Love is the lesson which the Lord us taught. As a matter of information, Easter is not just one day, but continues for 50 consecutive days, the longest of the Catholic liturgical seasons. The next is George Herbert's poem, Easter Wings. Herbert lived from the late 16th to mid-17th century. He was a Welsh poet, orator, and priest of the Church of England. He wrote a number of poems for Easter, but this is his most celebrated Easter poem. His writings are styled as devotional and metaphysical poetry. Interestingly, the first thing that strikes you about this poem is its shape. Yes, its shape, with the words arranged on the page to resemble the shape of birds' wings. Now I've turned the poem vertically, so if you'd like, you can read the poem along with me. Okay? Easter Wings. Lord, who createdest man in wealth and store, though foolishly he lost the same, decaying more and more, till he became most poor. With thee, O let me rise as larks harmoniously, and sing this day thy victories. Then shall the fall further the flight in me. My tender age and sorrow did begin, and still with sicknesses and shame thou didst so punish sin, that I became most thin. With thee let me combine and feel thy victory. For if I imp my wing on thine, affliction shall advance the flight in me. If you are enjoying this video and this channel, thank you. I invite you to consider subscribing, liking, or commenting. Any of these options greatly enhance my YouTube presence. Now to the next. For this selection, I wanted to put something in here about the spiritual history and legend of the Easter lily. So many stories, if not legends, abound. Some scholars noted that since lilies start out as ugly bulbs that live underground for at least 3 years and then bloom into these fragrant flowers, that this is a metaphor for transformation. Jesus died a brutal death, but then had a holy resurrection 3 days later, which has been the root of Christian faith. Another legend is that about the origin of the flower. One scholar says that it was told that the lily sprang from the tears of Eve when she was expelled from the Garden of Eden, but it was yellow until the day the Virgin Mary stooped to pick it, thus symbolizing the role of the new Eve in restoring to the world the innocence lost by Eve. And then, not a legend, but the readings in the Bible in the chapter of the book of Matthew, in chapter 6. Behold the birds of the heaven, that they sow not, neither do they reap, nor gather into barns, and your heavenly Father feedeth them. Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. Yet I say unto you, that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Jesus Christ is risen today. Alleluia. Happy Easter, everyone. Welcome, new subscribers. If you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe and hit the like button. Also, share your comments below about this video and tell me what topics you want to hear in future videos. If you'd like to see recent videos of snippets, bits, and bobs, see the links in the description. Also, click on the bell icon on your right to get the latest videos when they are uploaded, usually each week on Tuesdays. Can't wait to share next week's theme with you. So, have a good week and see you soon at Snippets, Bits, and Bobs. Bye-bye.